What's happening, fellas? We're on the first floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum and Kaplan Cycles. And this is, or should I say was, the Harley Davidson room. We are putting our new bike franchises down here. So this will be, we don't have a Harley Davidson franchise. So I'm going to be bringing that probably to the compound or putting it upstairs somewhere or something, because I won't lose it. The Mototown USA sign is staying. That's a gift from Tommy DeFranzo, the founder and builder of Mototown, which we practically lived there for a while, but great things happening. We are full steam ahead. This floor is 12,500 square foot. It's a football field long and has this room on the front here, which has a drive out on one side and a loading dock on the other. So we'll be able to, this will be great for service down here. And the new bike dealerships will come down here, parts and accessories. So it's really expand our footprint quite a bit. Our original plan was to have a restaurant or a bar or a microbrewery down here, but I think God didn't like that plan because beer and alcohol and motorcycles aren't a real good mix. So that never came to fruition. So we're full steam ahead with the bike dealership. And I walked in here this morning. It was a flashback to what it was like back in the day. I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine. Jason, I hate to interrupt your production for a second, but you got a minute?
Yeah, just let me put this down.
Jay, what's going on, brother? Hey, this guy right here, without him, I don't know if this mill would have ever come to fruition. Him, and there was a few key players on the restoration team. He was here with me for 5 years. On this building alone, there were 25 guys, including him and I, and Pete Lostrom, who was the project manager. He was the lead tech, the lead guy running the teams out here, the lead carpenter, and we completely restored this 45,000 square foot football field long, 4.5 story. There's a full basement over there. Actually, the basement goes all the way over to here. But what you see here is what the whole place looked like when we got here. It was just unbelievable how much work we had to do. Again, 100 man years of labor. There were 4 masons that worked here for, was it 4 years the masons were? They're here pretty much the whole time. With Dolores, yeah. Female, she was a lead mason. She was incredible. The first black woman mason in the United States of America. We should have a wax statue of her here or something.
She was pushing 70, wasn't she?
She was a machine, walking up ladders, holding a 5-gallon bucket, and she had the guys. I seen her make grown men cry here multiple times, you know, because you weren't cutting the mustard. She'd have her foot so far up her ass, it looked like a popsicle stick. She was tough as nails.
It's hard to keep up with her.
No, but Jay, so many cool stories here. Great to have you back.
Yeah. I'm happy to be back. I'm very happy to be back. Yeah.
So much has changed over the last 15 years, since 2011. Your daughter is how old now?
She's 10.
10.
She's 10 years old. And Pete made the announcement that I was having a baby.
Here.
Yeah, he made the announcement here to the whole crew and stuff, embarrassing me, but it was great. I'm very happy to be back at this mill.
When we first got here, this place was flooded. The whole right up to the rafters right here, because the water main had broken. And those are the original 1814 beams, rough hand-sawn or beams.
We replicated quite a few of those upstairs.
Yes, yeah. They were expensive. What was it, like $5,000 a beam? We had to ship from the West Coast because it had to be a certain type of pine for the Historic Society.
Grain Douglas fir.
This is one of the few. It's a second building in the state of Connecticut that achieved certified historic restoration by the State Historic Parks Office, which is no easy task. Trust me. And there were many times I wish I hadn't signed up for that, but in the end, it worked out good. The first one was where our offices are on the other side. Both buildings are attached by bridges. All these buildings are attached by bridges down to the detail shop on all floors, bridges or tunnels. It's pretty cool the way they used to build stuff back then, huh?
Yeah, it's quite a place. It's quite a place.
So tell me one of the best stories you have of working here, because there's so many of them.
Oh, probably right when I first started, when Pete had me start doing this, the west side stair tower.
Oh yeah.
Down there, just cutting holes almost this size, starting from the attic and just cutting holes straight down to the basement to start that staircase. That and the stair tower. The stair tower I could go on when I had to have the stairs suspended suspended, but all the floors were missing, so you could look straight up and see the ceiling of the tower. And then we just rebuilt those floors, us and the guys through, and we almost had that tower collapse, as you know.
Remember that day?
And, but now it's one of the strongest structures here, all rebuilt, and there's a lot of the original framework that we were able to salvage that's still in there, and if we couldn't salvage it, we replicated it. And now it's everything on and on, from the elevator to the holes in the floor to the whole basement to attic swath of wall that got rotted out by that leaking chimney for decades and decades and decades, to moving these columns over that were all so much out of plumb.
Come here, I want to show them, Jason.
Yeah, if you look, and we still haven't figured out really if it was built this way. But if you look down here, these little patches we did here, this is where these beams used to be over here. And every one of them, they all have varied sizes of filling pieces, but they were all that much out of plumbing. We had to kick them back over to get them in place.
The stair tower, when you cut that out, I have a healthy fear of heights. It's literally 40 feet from the attic or fourth floor down to here, and it was straight down. And those guys built the stairs for over there, and it was incredible. In the stair tower, what Jay was saying, they had to rip out all the rotted wood, which was most of the stair tower, and rebuild it from the bottom up, because the Historic Society wouldn't let us tear it down and rebuild it. We had to start with and one piece of lumber at a time. And there's very little lumber up on the fourth floor where the cupola was, and you can see the original lumber that's left. It's maybe a tenth of what was there, which is not the easy way to do it.
Yeah. Well, first you forgot we had to get rid of all the pigeon.
Oh, I didn't forget. 18 inches deep of pigeon shit, like 18 inches in dead pigeons. They lived in there for 40 years because there was no windows.
Yeah.
That was sketchy. And the raccoons. We had to hunt the raccoons. There was at least 25 raccoons that lived in here. It was totally insane. We had to trap them all, relocate them, and baby raccoons, big raccoons, and the homeless people. When we first got here, we camped out for 11 days because there was a whole tent city. This is ground zero, the worst part of Rockville. It was the center of social and moral decay of Rockville. It was right here. There was 666 signs on all over the building. The first thing we did is we painted over all the 666s and the Satan symbols, and we put crosses in every room. One time we went in the basement and a cross was turned upside down, and that like freaked me out, man. I was like, it sketched me out. But other than that, I think we did a complete, I know we did a complete exorcism through the, we had many bishops and pastors and priests. I have 25 years in the computer industry, and nobody ever came and prayed at any of our buildings. They would show up here uninvited and with like gallons of holy oil and literally get quarts and gallons of holy oil and holy soil and sprinkle around and fire and brimstone prayers. So
I've had nothing
it was
but
crazy.
good vibes.
Yes,
I would come here at 2, 3, 5, 6 in the morning with no lights, without a problem. I've had nothing but good vibes.
In the words of the poltergeist, this house is clear.
This house is clean.
We've exorcised the demons. So,
Classic.
and now there's crosses and Christian symbolism everywhere on every floor, and over the entryway. The man says, "Faith beyond what the eyes can see."
I just found the cross gate. You remember the cross gate?
Yes, the one we made.
It's going to go underneath the handicap ramp in the front.
Awesome.
That's in the back. Still, it's all painted up and everything. A little dusty, but
Yeah, we welded up all of the Pete Lostrom's son, Will Lostrom. Well, him and Chris Canning, I think.
Welded wizard.
He's
He was like 18, 19 years old.
He welded up all of the. He worked with me since he was 14 years old. He showed up. I was like, he was a very small 14-year-old, and one of the older kids, Mike Shea, was like, "Trust me, this kid's not normal. He's not." And he was a little soft-spoken kid, and the kid was doing frame-off restorations at 14 years old. I mean, it's just not normal. Thanks to his dad, Pete, he raised him well. But we had so many diverse people that worked here. We were working with the state of Connecticut. My friend Mike LaJoy was the DA for the state of Connecticut. And he said, "Hey, I've got some low-risk prisoners coming out of prison, and we want to put them on a work schedule. Would you like us to try some out?" And we did that for a few years. It was sad, though, because 8 out of 10 of them, as soon as they would start making real money, which what they were making here, they'd go out and start drinking and drugging, and then chaos would ensue. And
Couple hundred guys probably.
yeah, we had over 250 men worked on this project over the 5 years we were here. We had a core team.
We had a good.
At the end, if I had the money, if I had another $7.5 million burning a hole in my pocket, we would have kept on going. But we literally ran out of money. Like my electric, everybody got paid here every week, and we paid all our bills here. And every vendor who ever worked here, even the ones that didn't deserve it, got paid. There's some scripture in the Bible that talks about that. You know, when someone asks you for your shirt, give them your tunic also. So we went above and beyond to make sure everybody was taken care of here. And it was at the point where the electric shut off in my house a couple times. We ran out of money. There were some desperate times, but one of my friends who's really spiritual, he runs a Christian men's retreat, said, Ken, what you got to do is just show up, do the best you can, and leave the results in God's hands. Don't worry about the money. You're doing the best you can. And if it's his will for it to happen, doors will open. And that's what happened. Every time we ran out of money, something else, like Mayor Dan got us a grant for $500,000 because, well, the state fire marshal came in, the building was done, and the town inspector said, it's all set, we're good to go. And the town fire marshal called in the state fire marshal, and he said, no, we need another $500,000 stair tower on the east wing, which meant we had to rip out 4 floors of plumbing, 4 floors of lights, ripped out the floor just like he did over here and start all over. That set us back a year and a half. Oh, there were so many challenges here, but we had faith and we just kept on showing up.
Yeah, it was like, instead of build it will come. Keep building.
Yeah.
And it will come.
Years. The first project we did was we started on the building back here, and then Tim Sullivan from X-Pro, a local motorcycle race shop, said, I want to rent a building. And there was the building our showroom is in, our office is the concrete. It's all concrete. It was cast in 1913, restored in 2013. We finished it. And we originally thought, Pete Lostrom, our project manager, thought we could get it done on Tim's timeline because he was getting kicked out of his house and out of his existing business. His lease was up and he had to leave in 42 days. And we're like, we'll get it done, and we thought we could. Well, 18 months later, we finally got the CO. God works in mysterious ways because I wasn't ready to open a motorcycle shop. I owned a computer company. I owned an electrical contracting company. I owned a construction company with 25 men. And I had 3 little kids. Junior was 10, Jordan was 5, and Taylor was 13. I was more than a little overwhelmed. And I was a single dad too for some time then. And it was I didn't have the ability to open a bike shop then, but Tim got a building someplace else, and the bike shop was like 3/4 done. I had the sign made. I had the sign. I love this kid, Tim, and I wanted to really help him. And we did a beautiful job, but we couldn't meet his deadline. He needed a place to go, so he went someplace else. So probably about a year into it, we're like, well, what are we going to do with a motorcycle shop? And I've always wanted a motorcycle shop, but I didn't think I could really handle it. So we started off small with just me and one other guy, and we started buying bikes, going out on weekends. Me and Mark Vasco talked about that. Mark would go out with trips with me. Friends, volunteers. We'd go out and buy bikes, and we started picking up bikes, and next thing you know, there was a 3rd guy, and then a 4th guy, and we started buying and selling bikes. And that business, I didn't take a check for the first 5 years. I just invested all the money I'd ever made in this facility, in the bike shop. I didn't take a check at all. And right around year 6, we had maybe 8, 9 guys, and I started taking a check. We're almost 15 years into it now, and there's been several years where there were a lot of ups and downs in the motorcycle industry. But when COVID took off, man, the business just blew up. Next thing you know, we've got 23 guys that work here now full time. We're hiring more. A full-time videographer, Tyler. So our YouTube stuff is really growing great. But it's been a really amazing journey that when you're doing what is God's will for your life. I love motorcycles. I've been here since I was 10 years old in the city. I love these old buildings. This was not what most people would think would be a good investment because it appraised for a lot less than the $7.5 million. In 4 years of my life, I did nothing but work on this building and that building for 4 years full time. We started the bike shop, so I was working like 40 hours here, 20 hours there. We got it done though, and it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, many ups and downs. You were like, Jay, you got to go do a little work on my house because I got to sell the house to keep the project going.
Yeah.
And there were some close calls.
Yeah, we put the compound up for sale. That really happened. It was.
Future's bright. Things are looking good. We got 2 new bathrooms going in.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a big blessing with all the people that stepped up to help us. Mayor Dan Champagne, if it wasn't for him, we were at the jumping off point. He bailed us out. Sean Gately, the Department of Economic Development, without Sean, we would have failed. The guys in the town, now there was probably, we had the Department of Economic Development, the Department of Housing, the State Historic Parks Office, the Federal Parks Office, OSHA, all kinds. There was so many regulations and loopholes to turn. There was a reason this building was vacant for 50 years. It was not economically repairable, number one. And two, it wasn't really suitable for most factory uses. And three, housing would have been probably an easier thing to do with it. They turn these into apartment buildings, but we wanted to do the motorcycle theme here. And it's just been really unbelievable how it all worked out.
Yeah, I'm still amazed when I look at it. You know, when I drive down the hill and I have the view, you know, it's quite a structure.
It is.
You know,
it is.
It's quite a structure. What you did, what, you know, your vision. You know what this place is now. It's amazing. It's amazing.
We've talked before.
I'm thankful to be able to do what I do here.
And I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful you're back here to help us. In 2010, when you started here, or 2011, it's just amazing how far it's come. There was no YouTube. We didn't have a YouTube channel back. We didn't start the YouTube channel in 2014, and we were too busy. Even then, it was just to do the bikes. If I could have documented everything that happened here, the dump trucks flipping over,
Yes.
you know, all the trials and tribulations. Yeah, yeah. The stair tower almost falling off the front of the building. You know, the foundation that crumbled. So we had to jack up with how many ton jacks did you have? There was like 20 jacks.
Quite a few 60, 80 ton bottle jacks.
Jason and the team jacked up the whole east end of the building because the foundation had collapsed. This is a 4-story. Look at the timbers in this place. They're massive. They don't make buildings like this anymore. These are massive fir beams. They were $5,000 a piece for the ones we had to replace, and there's
Plus the machine work that had to get done to each one.
Yeah, to make them.
To make the joist pockets.
It was a lot of work, man. But the windows were a whole nother story. We ordered 287 windows, and if you look closely, and this is probably the straightest part of the building because this is on concrete, but upstairs where it's wood, the window sills were all crooked. So I would say 240 of the 287 windows had to be. What was the process for that?
All custom fit scribed, and to fit the window sills would be so far out of level. So we'd have to basically strip the sash down to its bare wood, re-profile the window, reinstall the weather stripping to custom fit each window opening. So each window, the windows may look all the same size, but they are definitely not all the same size. There's many different size windows here. Yeah, and almost every one is custom fit. It's not like a modern window where you could do a whole house full of windows in a day.
Part of that is due to the fact that the original wing was built in 1814, and then in 1854 they added the stair tower in this half. They called it the twin mill because the second half looked the same as the first. And then in 1880, where it steps up, that was an addition also. There was also a fire here in 1854, and a lot of the building had to be rebuilt. It's a miracle it didn't burn down because the homeless people were having fires in here and on the grounds.
Literally on the floor.
Yeah, which is through the grace of God. I have no idea how it didn't burn down, but it's really cool. If you look, it's got the brick. It's made, the entire first floor is all brick with massive post and beam supports over the top, and then from there up it's wood with brick infill. Very unique building structure that they don't build them like this anymore, and it was built for fire attenuation. The brick in between the beams would ostensibly keep the building from burning down, and I guess it worked, you know. So
Fire prevention back in the day.
So quite a journey, and we still have a long ways to go. It's exciting. This is the best floor in the whole building. The ease of access to the outside. It's going to be offices over here. Junior and the sales team will have the office team will have a office up here. There's going to be a ramp. There was a ramp here, but we're rebuilding a ramp to ADA spec, and this will be a direct walkout to West Main Street, which is perfect for retail. So you'll be able to park right there and come right in. Like the back of the truck says, there's no traffic on the extra mile. It's been
Stole that line from you.
it's been quite a journey of many years to get it where it is, but a true labor of love. I grew up in Rockville here. It's my hometown. We didn't just clean up this property. We started the Rockville Volunteer Services Group with as many as 50 people going out every Wednesday night. We took all the graffiti out of the entire town, all abandoned cars, abandoned trucks.
You resurrected the box truck.
Yes.
And made that the weekly town cleanup truck, and you had a crew of volunteers going around picking up dirty mattresses, getting rid of graffiti. Yeah, it was. We did a lot of cleanup.
We did a lot of work on private property, and I met with Mayor Dan. I said, Dan, you got to promise not to have me arrested if I go out and go vigilante and clean the town up. And he said, no problem. He actually sent 2 unmarked police officers who became like family members with the whole team, because we did it for 2 years every Wednesday night. They'd be plain clothes, but they were packing heat in case somebody tried to shoot us, So it was pretty cool. But we always had some backup, and we went to the sketchiest neighborhoods in town and cleaned the whole place up. And there was a huge outpouring from the neighborhoods we cleaned up. They would come out of their houses. What are you doing? We're the Rockville Volunteer Services Group. And we would, if they had graffiti on their house, we'd paint it. If their yard was messed up, we'd mow it. A lot of old folks, we wore out a couple lawnmowers. The goal was to have a graffiti. There's 4 ways to get here from the highway. And we wanted to have a graffiti, trash, and abandoned home clear path. So when people came to town, it would look good. And we accomplished it. And the best part about it, that book, One Broken Window, talks about it. When there's no trash, and there's no graffiti, and there's no abandoned cars, and there's no abandoned homes, people respect the place, and when they see a broken down car on jacks, they have no problem putting theirs next to it and trying to do a brake change right there, So it really raised the whole, not just the town, the state of Connecticut has been incredible. They put a new bridge in right there in 2010 when we were here. The second bridge down there, this whole street was closed down the first 2 years we were here. It took them 2 years to do the bridge to our right, which is down by West Street. And all the bridges are new, all the infrastructure is new. They put the road was like a war zone. There was potholes, and they put the new street in maybe 10 years ago. That's why I always get pissed off when people do the smoke shows on the street. Like, don't mess it up, man. Still looks good.
Motorcycles only.
Yeah, exactly. No big trucks. So it's been a cool journey, and stay tuned, because this floor is going to be pretty spectacular when it's done. It will be the best floor in the whole building, and everybody loves the wood floors, and we'll be putting some granite floor in here too. I can't say too much more than that right now, but about the clues of what's going on down here. But it's an exciting time to be here, and we're creating a legacy, something that will be left for the next generation. It's already been here 300 years, right? So if I'm lucky, I might have another 30, 40, but this will be here long after I'm gone. Jason, I'm glad to have you back.
Thanks a lot, Ken, for having me back.
We definitely got to have this talk again, because we only scratched the surface of what happened over the last 4 years.
Because talking about it is revitalizing even more stories in my head.
Doing a walkthrough and just talking about everything that happened. I'll leave you with one more story. Well, I told you the water mains were broken here, right? The water mains were broken, so the floor, the basement was full to the ceiling with water, and it was coming. The water main was right there by that door, right there. There's 2 of them, one right there and one under the Mototown sign, and the water was shooting out of it. We called the water company, and they came and shut it off in the street, and it was still shooting out. And we're like, it's still shooting out. We called the mayor, we called everybody. We tried to get some support, and I guess the state law says if it's 80% shut off, that's to their standard. Well, it was 20% of a city water main. The water was shooting up in the air, which isn't so bad in the summer, but in the wintertime, I was in here with Sean Gately. There was a freaking stalactite, like an iceberg sculpture from the floor all the way to the ceiling. And the water just kept on going, and the one outside was like 20 feet in the air. And we didn't know what to do because we couldn't get any help. So what did Pete say to do? He goes, we got to dig up the side. We got to dig up out there. And nobody in the town knows where the pipes went, because it was built in 1814 and probably modified many times since then, right? So these guys, Jason and Pete and the team of guys, they dug up with our backhoe the entire, my construction company. We had a backhoe, bobcats, skid steers, dump trucks, all that stuff. And we dug up from here to the street about a 50-foot patch to the right of this stair tower on the other side, and they found the leaking water main. But it was the winter, and the water was flowing so it wouldn't freeze, and they're out there, up to their knees in frozen water in brutal conditions. There was no heat and no air conditioning the entire time we worked here. Right? Am I right?
Well, we had a guy in the morning, that was his job. It would take him about an hour to go around and fill up all the portable kerosene heaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably had a dozen of them at one time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, burn, and then we had to go into the gas station too much. You just had a fuel tank dropped off.
That's right. A 250-gallon fuel tank. Yeah. Man.
Fill up the portable heaters.
Yeah, it was something else.
Keep it slightly above freezing.
If we could do it over, Monday morning quarterbacks always really have the answer. And one thing, thank God for Mike, our elevator repair guy, because that elevator right there, we didn't have an elevator for the first 3.5 years we were here, maybe 4 years. So Jason would grab the lull and hoist the stuff up through the windows, which was a major pain in the ass.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest pain in the butts here was material handling.
It was ridiculous.
Material handling, getting the material to the site.
Mike originally installed this back in I think it was the early 80s or might have been the late 70s. And he was an apprentice. He was like 18 years old. He's my age now. He's about 60. And with Mike's assistant, we completely restored that, customized it, painted it just like we would a motorcycle. And we rebuilt. Dolores was in the stair tower for an entire winter with 3 of her masons, and they worked off the top of the elevator. They set up a shop right on the top of the elevator, and they went up and repointed the whole shaft 4 stories tall. And if you look at the top there, my buddy Kurt Edgecombe, him and Mark are probably the reason why I'm not in prison or in the insane asylum, because they talked me off the edge a couple times. We had some real struggles, but Kurt was here, and him and his team and his son, they painted pretty much every square inch of this place, like hundreds of gallons of paint just on the ceilings of 4 floors, hundreds and hundreds of gallons. And they painted that gold, the ceiling, and they painted the ceiling gold, and they painted all of the wood, either the original color or that turquoise green, which is what, look over here, see that? That's the original color it was. So being a proper historic restoration, everything was left the way it originally was, the same colors.
Yes, definitely one of the jewels of the mill, this elevator.
This was originally powered by water, but back in because electricity didn't exist when the mill.
Pulleys for the original.
There was a giant water wheel. The river ran behind the building, and it came through the wall right there, and there was a water wheel that went from the floor to the ceiling and all the way down in, and the water channel still runs under, and it ends up over the street. They used to make sweaters here, and when they would make blue sweaters or red sweaters, the river would be blue and red. There was no EPA back then. I swear to God, that's the way it was in Rockville. Everything went right into the sewer, into the river, including sewage, raw sewage. There was no trucks. This building was built with oxen and horses and manpower, hand hewn. There were no chainsaws. There were no electric staplers or drills. It was all done with good old fashioned American ingenuity.
Most likely a sawmill on site.
Yes.
As well, milling.
The big trees.
Milling these trees, milling these beams.
We have a photo back in 1903 when the oxen pulled the forms down for this, was the second cast in place concrete building in the United States. The first one was about a mile up the road, and this massive football field long, 4-story, 45,000 square foot building was, they used oxen to haul it down here, and they mixed up the mortar right here. There was no plant that would show up with a dump truck full of mortar. They just
no ready mix.
Yeah, no ready mix. There was no cell phones, no beepers, no internet no chat GPT to ask how to do it. But it was, and the craftsmanship was something else.
Well, Ken, I'm going to get back to work.
Yeah. We can go on all day. We'll do this again some other time.
Thank you again, Ken. Stop by anytime.
Thank you all for watching, and God bless America.